Hello and welcome to Risk Management for Video Game Professionals. I'm going to take you on a bit of a whirlwind tour during the next section, which is the introduction. But before I do that, I wanted to just tell you why I'm passionate about this subject. Now, I've been in the games industry, not as long as some of you probably. I've been in the industry for about 12, 13 years. Before that, I was working in many different areas as a consultant, as an e-learning specialist. I was knowledge management, ran my own website company for a while, done lots of different things, worked for lots of different companies. And during that tenure outside of the games industry, I feel it was a useful time for me because I was exposed to some of the foundations around project management, program management, and portfolio management that many people who go straight into the games industry are not exposed to and don't really want to be, right? I mean, if your passion is for games, your passion is not for learning about the things that I just mentioned. You don't even know they exist, probably. You may have come across the PMI, which is the Project Management Institute, and it's an American foundation. In the UK, which is where I'm based, we have alternatives. I'll say they're not very good ones. So you can do things like Prince 2, which is a project management foundational sort of, I'm going to call it a course, but it's like basically large books you have to read. And they're very good for engineering, construction, etc. They're not very good for what we do in the games industry. The PMI, the Project Management Institute, has produced a lot of literature around how to manage projects and has expanded to portfolio and program management, which we will talk about later because you probably don't know what I'm talking about, some of you. But you will, right? You'll understand what all this all is. But there's a lack of foundational knowledge. And because I was exposed to it as a young lad, I brought it with me. And I feel like it will benefit people, particularly if we look at where we are. I mean, I'm recording this at the end of 2024, and what a hell of a year it's been. We've had, 100,000 people across the industry losing their jobs. We've had more and more reports coming in like every day, right, of studios closing down. We already know that if you listen to other game production and game leadership people, they will often quote this figure that only 5% of games come in on time, right, or are a success or whatever. I'm not sure I believe that, but still, if you look at the record for how we do as an industry, we're rubbish at coming out on time. We're rubbish at coming out within scope or within budget, which are the project management, like three holy grails, right? But just from the perspective of making a game on the ground and making decisions on the ground about how you prioritize what you should do with limited resource, that's risk management right there. You need to understand that there are ways of making that easier for you. And it's not about project management, it's about risk management. And a risk is something that you're not really sure might happen. It may happen, it may not, and it might have a massive impact or a low impact. But there are ways of talking about these things and visualizing them before that risk turns into an actual issue that you need to deal with. But risk management is more than that, because that's pretty dull. Risk management covers this systems thinking of we live within a system, and that is the company we work in. And the system is all the different teams and how they all work together, and it's the leadership, and it's everybody and everything, all of our workflows, all our processes, how people communicate with each other. The whole thing, right, is a system. It's just a system of pipes that feed information back and forth and things that happen. And within that system, which is different for every company, you need to try and work out, well, how am I going to do the best I can in my job, whatever that job might be? And you might be here in many different guises, right? You might come in as a designer listening to this course and watching this course. You might come in as a game producer, a project manager. You might be an executive. You might be in QA. It doesn't matter. The fact is that wherever you are, you need to understand you're part of a system. Again, risk management will come in and go, well, you have limited choices, limited time, scarcity. You need to decide, what will I sacrifice to do this instead of that with the limited, say, people and time that are around me? So risk management can help you with that, but it can also help you at the levels above that kind of thinking, the levels which go, well, hang on, we're making a game, or we're making multiple games, or our company is actually multiple studios. That level that goes above that, right, which we can call program management, and then portfolio management, your portfolio of products. And this really important idea that a game is a product and that you make decisions around what that product should be and how it looks. Every decision is a sacrifice, isn't it? It's a choice. It's like, am I going to do this or that? Risk management says, well, you can make those choices, but we can talk about it before you have to, and we can put plans into place that say, before everything goes sets on fire and we have to put it all out, what is it we could do in advance? Risk management also says, let's identify some of the common risks, the common factors that happen when you're making a game, or when you're running a company that makes a game. And I want to cover all of those different areas. And I think, and I feel very strongly that this is of a massive benefit to all of us, particularly now when you look at this pressure that comes from shareholders and executives who need to listen to those companies that have purchased them, right, or are funding them. There's a lot of pressure. We can call it external pressure, if you will, a lot of pressure to prioritize certain things and to make certain decisions. Risk management can expose all of that, make it much more transparent, and allow you to link it all together from top to bottom and left to right, and to just have the foundation and the tools and the communication advice through risk management that enables you to have really honest and transparent conversations, but also to visualize a lot of this stuff. So it's not just things that you talk about, say, behind someone's back or in front of them, but you don't get listened to, and or you just don't know where to store it, or you don't know who to talk to. So this will give you those tools that you can go, oh, okay, do you know what? We can actually be a company or a team or whatever it is that can decide, are we risk averse or do we like risk, and are we going to take this risk or not, or this thing's turned into an issue, what can we do about it, what are the different tools that can help us here, or what's our communications and cadence around that communication, and how can we draw in an audience who aren't used to having the opportunity to talk about these things. And we'll do all of that, and we're going to cover all of that. I'm really excited about it, and I will go on quite a lot, so you have to get used to it. This is how I talk, this is who I am, and during this introduction piece you'll find that I talk a lot about some of this stuff that we've just mentioned, but we're going to go into it more and more detail, of course, as we get through the course, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope as well that you will contact me if you wish to be part of this course, if you wish to be part of the recordings that we're doing where I'm talking to other video game professionals or people who are getting into the video games or have left the video games and who just want to share their experiences and their maybe their methods and maybe some of the best practice and some of what could happen or couldn't go happen and how to deal with it. If you want to be part of that, please contact me and we'll add you to this course, because that's a really big part of it. It's not just me, there's all of you as well. So thank you very much. Let's get going.